As predicted, Rams defense did the rest. Thank you, good night. Rams win, they're 9-4. Patriots lose, they're now, it doesn't matter. They got a quarterback problem. Here's Cam on getting benched last night.
Coach took you out of the game with a little over 10 minutes left. Are you concerned about not or being benched for next week or anything like that?
That's not my call. I'm just doing what I'm asked. I think I have to still go into each and every week with the mentality to keep getting better, and that's what I plan on doing.
Bill, I wanted to ask you about just the quarterback. You're going to stick with Cam next week at quarterback?
Yeah, great question, Mike. I'm really glad you asked that. Cam's our quarterback.
I'm so glad you asked that question. Can I get 20 more just like it? Michael Vick joining us now. All right, the Patriots now, Michael, 7 losses on the season. First time we've seen that since 2002. Is it all Cam's fault? Obviously not, but clearly they got themselves a quarterback problem there in New England. Do you think Belichick should bench Cam Newton or let him ride out the rest of the season?
I think you let him ride it out, Jenna, and just like you just said, it hasn't been all Cam's fault. And when you look at the game last night in its totality, I mean, the offensive line couldn't hold up. And if you can't block, and obviously going against the LA Rams, and Sam Donald, Aaron Donald, I'm sorry, it's just hard to block that guy. Like, he's a game changer. He makes everybody better, and obviously Brock is getting involved in the mix, and he shot the gap a couple times and came in scot-free. That wasn't on Cam. And I know Bill Belichick, as he goes back and look at the film, and even as he watches it from the sideline, he can see all the flaws and the things that are going right and the things that aren't going right, when it's Cam's fault, when it's not Cam's fault. So, those are things that need and has to be evaluated. And I think that happens throughout the course of the weekend as they go back and watch the game film. But I think out of respect to Cam, you allow Cam to ride the season out. It still isn't over. They can get better over the next couple games. Maybe they can win a couple games and sneak into the playoffs somehow, some way. But, Cam is still campaigning for his career moving forward, and you got to give him a fair opportunity. I think Bill Belichick is going to respect that.
And Mike, what about Brandon Staley, too, the defensive coordinator for the Rams? Let's go to the fourth and goal play where they stood up the Patriots. They run an option play, and they had an answer. They had someone for Cam Newton, and they also had someone for the run back, for the pitch. That's called being out coached, or having an answer for what Josh McDaniels was trying to throw at him. And you can go through the entire game and see Brandon Staley out coach Josh McDaniels. I wanted to start there because sometimes when we have a player being benched, we have these conversations in a vacuum. And like you said, it's not all on Cam. And Jenna, you said it too, it's not all on Cam. So we need to highlight that first. Now, should they bench Cam? Absolutely not. Bill Belichick needs Cam Newton. Why does he need Cam Newton? Because this is the first time in 12 years that they're going fishing. They're cooked. They're done. This cannot become a PR nightmare for Bill Belichick. You throw in Jarrett Stidham, and then the headlines is going to be Jarrett Stidham throws another pick. Jarrett Stidham goes for 3 picks. The Patriots get blown out. You can't turn this into a PR nightmare. You can't go into the offseason as Bill Belichick and the distinguished New England Patriots on a 4-game losing streak. You just can't do it. Cam Newton last night, look, he didn't look great. The offense didn't look great. They're all interconnected. It's on all of them. But the defining moment in that game was that pick 6. That was a 10-point swing, Nick. If that play doesn't happen, who knows what happens in the third or fourth quarter?
Well, listen, there's a number of games this year where it hasn't been all Cam's fault, but Cam has made the defining mistake. The horrific Broncos loss, Cam made the defining mistake. The fumble against Buffalo, obviously, Cam made the defining mistake. And last night, it looked like the Pats had a pick 6 to make it 10-7. Players ruled down, but they're driving, chance to cut it to either 3 or 7-point lead. He throws a pick 6, and that's the game. Pats could have played 10 more quarters. They weren't scoring 17 points against this defense. So the Patriots obviously have an offensive problem that is not all Cam, but it is Cam he is a huge part of it. There's no doubt about it. But here's the problem, Wilds. Right now,
Let's hear it.
Cam is a 78 Cutlass. Once upon a time, a gorgeous car, but it's been beat up a bit. Sometimes you take it around the block and it dies on you, and you're like, man, I don't know if I can keep driving it. And you go in your garage and you look around, and the only other mode of transportation you got is a rusty tricycle that's missing its chain. It's like, well, then I guess I'm going to ride the Cutlass. And that's the situation. Like, you're not going to hop on the tricycle. And that's what Stidham is. He's thrown 33 passes this year. 3 have been picked. When they had a chance to start him, they started Hoyer. So Cam is going to get the opportunity to at least show the league, if not the Patriots, I deserve to have a chance next season, which right now he isn't really showing. But the Patriots have no other option. So I think they will stick with Cam.
Yeah. So what are we doing next year? And Brandon, you talked about the big stop that the Rams made. Everybody on the planet knew that we were going to run the ball 4 times. There was no Gronk tight end fade that we had made money off of for 20 years. I would have been less surprised if a Sasquatch came now and said hello than if we threw the ball. Mike, we also ran on a Hail Mary play. Like, our devotion to running is insane. And I don't think it's not like they've turned over a new leaf. Like, you know what? I was studying the playbook from the 1930s. I think we should start running the ball again in a passing league. We're doing this because Cam can't throw the ball, or the wide receivers can't get open, or one or the other. But it's to go from Tom Brady to like the 30th ranked offense going into the game. We probably fell further. I think we're down now. We're at the top level of college, of junior colleges here, offense wise. But I don't know. You got to give me something to be optimistic about. Cam just doesn't look right to me. You can't be throwing the ball 20 times a game at the max and say like, yeah, let's run it back next year. We'll be great.
They smashed the Chargers last week, so we expected something different last night. But, you know, to Brandon's credit and what he said, it was a short week. And, you know, you're not going to put too much in. You're not going to take too much out. You're going to pretty much roll with the game plan that you have. So I think that played a deciding factor in that play on the goal line when they ran the option. It was easy. They probably had it in the game plan the last couple of weeks. And, you know, the Rams seen it, and they was able to key in on it. So it was a couple of different circumstances. But, you know, they did blast the Chargers last week, and we expected something different, to be honest.
But we all know that Belichick's not driving a Cutlass next season. I think we all know that. How much is on the line for Tom Brady this weekend against the Vikings? We'll set everything you need to know up next. First things first.
I'd bet a lot of money Vic has owned a Cutlass at some point in his life.